Welcome to the Blame Game Podcast, where I, your host, Alex T, will be providing you with the latest comic book and superhero news with some manga, rap, music, and whatever else I like to throw into it. This podcast is basically whatever I want it to be, and so it can be anything I want it to be. There's nothing much else to say, but let's jump into it. So, first off, I'm recording this on January 4th. Very first week of 2019. Very exciting. True reason I'm starting this podcast is because I just wanted to do something else other than go to school and learn useful things. So I'm gonna spend all my free time doing this, hopefully. Hopefully it goes off well, get some views, get some listens, get some downloads, whatever. So yeah. I'll try to be recording these on Thursdays or Fridays, and then posting them on Saturdays or Sundays, most likely Sundays, just so that I can get all the information from the previous week and post it so they can listen at the beginning of the next week and do what you want with it. So, let's begin with news. In this week, of news, it's with the end of 2018, we can finally say that Black Panther was the highest grossing domestic film this year, or last year, which is great. Ryan Coogler's Black Panther was the highest grossing film of 2018 domestically. The movie earned over $700 million in box office ticket sales, which is amazing. Black Panther was a great movie. I wouldn't say it was my top movie, might not even be top 5 movies, but it was still a great movie. You should go watch it. I don't know if it's on Netflix yet, but you should definitely go buy the DVD, give Ryan Coogler other movies a shot. The movie was seconded by Infinity War, which earned $678 million this year in ticket sales for domestic viewing, so that is the US, which is great numbers. Black Panther was able to beat out Infinity War basically because of Black Panther's jump to the gun. Black Panther came out in February, Infinity War came out in April, so that's understood, but Infinity War was also a huge movie for Marvel, so it is surprising that Black Panther was able to beat it, even though it was a solo superhero movie, and it was a main black cast movie, which is amazing to see. So it's great. Though Black Panther did beat Infinity War in domestic sales, internationally, worldwide, Infinity War did beat Black Panther. Infinity War had 2.5 or 2.05 billion sales, while Black Panther earned 1.3 billion sales at the end of the year, which is still amazing. It's not seconded, but, you know, it was a great year for superhero movies in general. All of them basically topped the charts. Congratulations to Ryan Coogler. He is now the first black director to ever have a film to top the domestic box office sales in history. Like, really, like, a round of applause to him. That's amazing. I'm really proud of this, even though I had nothing to do with it. I just feel good about it. Can't wait for Black Panther 2 to come out, even though, spoilers, T'Challa died at the end of Infinity War, but you know, they're all coming back. So next bit of news, still Marvel, Spider-Man it's not Marvel, it's Sony. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse script is out online. You can find it on a Sony website, which, you can probably Google that, or maybe I should, like, link it somewhere. Maybe. I thought the movie was great. It was really enjoyable. It was surprising how well Sony did it for an animated movie. If they do make a second one, which they are talks in making a second one, I would definitely go see it, even if it's mainly a Gwen Stacy movie, which it might be. So definitely go check out the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse script, which is available online. Because if you didn't get to see it, or you want to see it again, and you don't want to pay, you can definitely just read through the script and get a good laugh out of that. Now, back to Marvel. Captain Marvel, that's Shazam. That's not That's not Marvel, that's DC. But no, Captain Marvel, the 21st movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe lineup, has had some photo shots released online. Not all of the shots are new. Most of them are from the trailer that was released a few weeks ago. Actually a month ago now, which is cool. Still like still shots. You don't have to pause the video and look at them. Shows some great Carol Danvers shots, some Samuel L. Jackson as his character, which I can't remember right now, and some other characters and all, and you get some behind the scenes shots, which is really cool. The movie also is rumored to have a TV spot next Monday, January 7th of this beautiful year 2019. College Football Playoff National Championship is going to be aired at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Western Time. So during the game, Captain Marvel should have either a longer trailer or an actual scene from the movie, which is cool to see. I will go see Captain Marvel, even though I don't really think it's going to be all that amazing and crazy. It's going to be a good movie, but I personally have some questions about the actress playing Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. I don't know how well of an actress she's going to be playing for a superhero. But who knows? Anything can happen. So next up, we have DC news, with DC paying tribute to Stan Lee, rest his soul, in the comics this week. So this week's comics came out on Wednesday, January 2nd, and at the end of these comics, DC Comics decided to leave a little tribute page to the late Stan Lee. The tribute page was completely black with a few words written on it with in white text, which read as follows: with utmost respect from the distinguished competition Excelsior, in memoriam Stan Lee, 1922 to 2018. So this was basically just a little cool tribute thing DC did for the competitor, for Marvel, which is great. It's really nice to see. I read some DC comics this week, and I saw them at the end. I was like, oh, that's really some nice respect for the man and the company. Also, Marvel did respect to Stan Lee with their Marvel covers. Basically, all the headlining Marvel superheroes had Stan Lee 1922 to 2018 on top. Some interesting covers that for some of the chapters or issues didn't really go with the storyline that was currently airing, but they were still cool art pieces to see. So go check that out if you would like to. And with that, DC also is talking about finally getting a pilot done for the upcoming Batwoman show. The CW recently had their crossover parallel universe thing. I don't watch DC CW shows or Arrowverse shows, so I wouldn't know anything about it. All I do know is that Batwoman was in the special episode, and now because of this, CW is planning on having Batwoman Pilot created with Ruby Rose, so that's cool. Another superhero to add to CW's roster. Like I said, I don't watch any of those shows anymore. Like, I watched the first season of Flash and the first 2 to 3 seasons of Arrow, and I basically gave up on it. I do like Black Lightning, but I don't follow it. I binged the first season when it got to Netflix last year, so I'm probably gonna do the same this year. But whatever. Jumping back over to Marvel, we have Punisher Season 2 trailer being released, which is cool, I guess. I very much enjoyed Punisher Season 1, but with knowing no matter how this season does, Punisher is not going to air anymore on Netflix, kinda has me in a type of mood. So, whatever about that. The trailer was released, and the show is expected to air on Netflix January 18th, so that's pretty soon. I will be back in school by then, so I doubt I'll binge the whole season like I did last year. But whatever. And in this final bit of news, we have Star Wars news, which I'm not too crazy about. I watched Star Wars movies. Most of them, I didn't watch the Han Solo movie because it didn't look interesting, and it was supposed to, apparently it sucked. So, whatever. But in this Star Wars news, we're talking about the Rogue One spin-off series, which is about to take off. Not anytime soon. It's supposed to start production in late October of 2019. So this is the show of the spinoff of Rogue One, which I enjoyed. I thought Rogue One was basically the best prequel movie to date, which technically isn't hard to beat. But Rogue One was pretty good. Now all we need is a Kenobi. Obi-Wan. We need an Obi-Wan freaking solo movie. God damn it. We need that to be a prequel movie, so that would be pretty cool as well. And with that, so yeah, Rogue One, a Star Wars story spin-off series, will star Diego Luna, who will reprise his role as Cassian Andor, the guy in the Rogue One series. So there was the girl, then there was the guy. So the spin-off series is going to be a TV series on Disney's standalone streaming network that's going to be debuted in 2019 or 2020, I think. I don't know. But yeah, so we're probably going to end up seeing a lot of the Star Wars movies on that streaming service, and also Marvel movies on that streaming service as well, since Disney owns everything. So that's that. Good amount of cool news today for the week. But after that, we're going to jump into movie news. In the past week or two, Fandango released a poll to the fans to see what was the most anticipated movie of 2019. And if you're a moviegoer of any rate, or a comic superhero moviegoer, you're gonna know what's the top movies that people are waiting for. If you look at the box office sales for the past year, you're gonna know what's the top movies that people are anticipating for next year. So the first one will be Avengers Endgame, which is supposed to premiere in April on the 26th of this year. It's going to be the best movie of 2019. The best superhero movie, definitely, and maybe even the best movie of 2019. But I don't know what else movies are going to come out in the year. So yeah, can't wait for that. That was number one. Number two is Captain Marvel, which is going to come out March 8th, so not too far away. Marvel fans should be hyped over this movie. I did talk about it a little bit up in the news section, but it's going to come in second, or maybe even place third in the Marvel superhero movies that's coming out next year, because we have Avengers, Captain Marvel, and Spider-Man. So it's going to be fun, but again, I don't know how Brie Larson is going to perform in this movie, and she's supposedly supposed to be in Endgame, so who knows what's going to happen in that. Number three, the most anticipated movie of 2019 is supposed to be Star Wars Episode 9, which is coming out on December 20th, so the very end of 2019. So it's still going to be like almost a whole year until we see that movie. Hopefully they take that year to write a better story, because Episode 8, The Last Jedi, wasn't amazing, and Episode 7, even though I enjoyed it, made me think, did I really need to pay and go see this? I mean, it's still an experience going to a movie theater with a whole bunch of Star Wars fans, which is awesome, but still, Episode 8 was a letdown, so hopefully Episode 9 is going to be better. So yeah, there's that. Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be coming in as number 4, the most anticipated movie of 2019, which is coming out July 5th, so like another little ways away before that comes out. 2018 was the year of the Spider, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Sony, and Sony released Venom, which didn't seem like it would work at all without Spider-Man, but it worked. It doesn't make too much sense if you think about it, the comics and everything. It works, but if you wanted to see Spider-Man versus Venom, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. But besides that, whatever, Spider-Man Far From Home should be amazing, with Mysterio and possibly, spoiler, Hydro Man. And then Zendaya, the beautiful Zendaya, is going to be in the movie as well as the love interest to Spider-Man. So that's number 4. And number 5, we have Toy Story. Toy Story number 4, which will release June 21st. Toy Story, I believe, should have ended after the second movie. I very much enjoyed the second movie. I also enjoyed the first movie. But the third one, since it came out when I was a teenager, and I watched it with my little brothers. My little brothers were bored with it. I was also bored with it. So, there's that. Number 6, most anticipated movie for 2019, which is probably in my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2019, is Glass, which is going to air fairly soon on January 18th, which is crazy. I thought this movie was coming out in March. It's coming out in January. I am very happy. This is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's his superhero trilogy movie with superheroes and supervillains. I saw the second movie in the series, Split. I went to the theaters and see that, and it was amazing. So hopefully this movie, the third movie titled Glass, would also be amazing. I need to see Unbreakable, the first movie, but I can't find it anywhere, and I don't want to pay for it. But before the movie comes out, which is really soon, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the first one and the second one. Maybe I'll do a little commentary on that. I won't, but whatever. So yeah, that's number 6. Number 7, which is understandable, is The Lion King, the not so live action remake, which is coming out July 19th. Go for that. Number 8 is Aladdin, coming out May 24th. So yeah, Will Smith may not be blue in this movie because he is playing Genie, and Genie in Aladdin is blue, but Will Smith may not be blue in the movie. So if Will Smith is not blue, I'm not gonna see this. I'm not gonna go see this in theaters, but yeah, when it comes to DVD, I'm still not gonna see it if Will Smith is not blue. Number 9 is Dumbo, which comes out March 29th. Personally, I think Dumbo was a bad movie when it was animated, and it's gonna look terrible with a CGI elephant in live action. So there's that. And a big surprise that I think made it on this list is Joker, the Joker film, the DC Joker film that we basically know who's acting as Joker, and we know the release date to be October 4th, so a ways away. They started filming for the movie. There's no trailer released for the movie, but people are very hyped for this movie. I mainly think people are hyped for this movie because they want to hate on it. It's a DC movie, and the last Joker sucked, and from the little promo stuff, the leaked images of the Joker we've seen so far, it doesn't look crazy amazing. So maybe it'll be good. It's coming out in October, so maybe it'll be a pretty scary horror movie. I think that would be cool if we gotta see a Joker horror movie, but who knows. With that being the top 10 anticipated movies of 2019, I can understand Avengers, Captain Marvel, Star Wars, Spider-Man, Toy Story for nostalgia, Dumbo for nostalgia, Aladdin for nostalgia, The Lion King for nostalgia, and Glass, just because Split was a surprising good movie from M. Night Shyamalan. So, I said the Glass. Split was a pretty good movie in 2017. So hopefully Glass is a good movie in 2019. I can understand all these except Joker. So can't wait for basically most of these movies to come out. If you look at this, it's really the year of Disney with Avengers, Captain Marvel, Star Wars, Spider-Man, Toy Story, which is Disney, Pixar, The Lion King, Aladdin, and Dumbo. Disney basically owns every movie on this list, so Disney's gonna be making a lot of money in 2019. Other movies coming out in 2019, which you should know about, is Shazam, the DC movie, which is coming out April 5th. The first trailer was okay in my opinion. I can honestly say I didn't go see Aquaman. I don't know if I will. I heard it was also pretty good. I do expect Shazam to be good, and I think I will go see it. So, I believe DC is going in the right direction for these films. And hopefully with Aquaman and Shazam doing well, they can do another Suicide Squad and do it right, and they can do another Justice League and do it right. But hopefully. Also coming out in April, on April 12th, we have Hellboy. I personally love the previous Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman, and I enjoyed the few Dark Horse comics of Hellboy, but the trailer for this upcoming Hellboy movie looked terrible. I don't like the paint. I don't like the acting so far. I don't like the story so far. The story looks like it's going to change. It's something like darker and more serious than the trailer let on, but still, I'm not really hyped for this movie. Also, a movie coming out that I'm not hyped for is Dark Phoenix, coming out on June 7th. This is going to be the first? No, it's not. This Dark Phoenix is going to be a movie that releases most likely under the Fox Disney banner. And it's probably going to be the last movie of this X-Men universe before they try to roll X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not anticipating. I haven't seen the last few movies. I'm not going to go see this movie, so whatever. That also includes New Mutants, which is coming out August 2nd. Not talking about that. What movie I also think should be a very hyped movie for 2019 is Us, which is coming out March 15th. It is the Jordan Peele movie. The Jordan Peele's second movie he has directed and written for. It follows family that are being haunted or hunted by another family that have become duplicates of the original family. It looks like it's going to be amazing. And after Jordan Peele's first movie, Get Out, and how well that did, you just have to go see Us March 15th. But first, let's talk about the manga. My top 3 manga that were released this week came out on a strange date. They released on Sunday, December 30th, instead of the usual dates of being Thursday or Friday, depending on the time zone you're in. Though they were still good chapters, it was kind of strange getting them at this time. So first off, I'm going to talk about One Piece, chapter 929. And this chapter followed Frankie for half of it, while he was trying to complete his task of finding the blueprint for Kaido's mansion, so that they could infiltrate the mansion during the party, blah blah blah, later on. And manga. Sadly, Frankie's boss didn't tell Frankie the complete truth when Frankie started working for him. He had sold the plans, the blueprints for the mansion. So Frankie ran around town trying to look for the blueprints, so he ended up out of luck because he couldn't get them. So he told Kinemon that he couldn't find it, which is all fine. Next up, we saw Zoro again as he made his way back to the capital of Wano with possible ninja. She's kind of unattractive, and that's basically been the joke that the female ninjas or the ninjas in general are not very attractive. So it's possibly that Zoro has found an ally as he goes back to the capital. Though, with that, the biggest revelation of the chapter was that CP0 is in Wano talking to Lord Orochi. Which is crazy considered because Lord Orochi being the bad guy and Wano being a country that's not supposed to have any contact with the outside world, why is CP0 the government's Black Ops unit in Wano? Well, it turns out CP0 used to buy weapons or possibly devil fruit from Doflamingo, who was the middleman between Kaido, Doflamingo, and Doflamingo in the world. So Kaido has the biggest resource of weapons manufacturing and devil fruit manufacturing in the One Piece world. So Kaido would use Doflamingo and his island and his crew to sell these weapons to whoever he wanted to, which apparently included the government and CP0. So since Doflamingo was defeated by Luffy, now CP0 has to go straight to the head. But of course, they're not going to do direct business with Kaido. They would never dare dishonor themselves like that. So they're all doing it with Lord Orochi, which Lord Orochi apparently has a big chip on his shoulder because he's working with Kaido, and he thinks he can do whatever he wants with CP0. He even takes a shot at one of them, shoots him blank dead in the head. Of course, they're not dead, but like, who does he think he is getting away with this? So that was basically the gist of chapter 929 of One Piece. I very much enjoyed it, like all the rest of One Piece chapters for the past year. They're all amazing. So yeah, there's that. So we're gonna now go on to Black Clover. Chapter 188. I started reading Black Clover when when the anime first released earlier 2018. Then I stopped watching the anime after like the first 2 episodes, picked up the manga, stopped reading the manga, because the story was just like really, really fast and like kinda lackluster, but I'm picking back up because I do see the actual enjoyment in Black Clover and Asta's power. That's basically the whole reason I'm reading it. I want to find out where Asta's power came from, where Yuno's power came from. So there's that. But in chapter 188, the fighting basically continues, so there's nothing really special about that. But here's another one that I know no one has heard of, called Chainsaw Man. Chapter 5 came out, I believe, on Monday. And this is a new manga, featuring a guy that turns into a devil with a chainsaw head and chainsaws for hands. If you think that sounds weird, you should check it out. And if you think there's possibly a deeper story to this, you should check it out. Because this manga is brand new and getting quickly, following quickly. Check out the Reddit and the Discord. This new shonen is about a guy that was in so much debt with the mafia / Yakuza, because of his father, who had died and left the debt to him. He resorted to using a devil to kill other devils to earn money. Now, in this universe, devils are basically monsters, maybe yokai, if you'd like to prefer. And the kid found a devil, made a deal with him. The devil was a chainsaw devil. He used the chainsaw devil to kill other devils, but eventually got turned on by the mafia, and kind of did a transformation. Now this guy named Dinky works for the anti-devil police force, so he doesn't get killed by the anti-devil police force for being a devil, because when the mafia turned on him, they killed the devil and him. When that happened, the bodies merged, and he became a devil man. He didn't become a devil man, that's another thing. But he became Chainsaw Man. It's been so far to read, mostly because the main character, Dinky, only wants to live his life to the fullest. Wasn't able to do before. But this also includes, he wants to know the feeling of breast, which you know is understood for a man his age, which is also the title of this chapter, The Way to Feel Breast. You should definitely check it out. It's pretty awesome. And with that, we are finally into comic book news. My favorite section, because I like comic books, Marvel and DC. Of course, there are more Dark Horse and comics, I think. But whatever, I'm going to go over the main two head runners, being Marvel and DC. So I'm going to start off with Star Wars. I'm going to start off with Marvel releases for January 2nd, last Wednesday. So, first off, Star Wars, A Gem of Republic, whatever that word is. Obi-Wan Kenobi #1 came out. Wolverine, The Long Night adaptation #1 came out. Marvel Superhero Adventures Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse #1, which is a younger kid-friendly comic, which is basically released because of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie that came out in the past year. Conan the Barbarian #1, a new take on the old story, came out. Champions #1, the reboot of the successful Champions storyline was released. Infinity Wars Infinity, Marvel's head-running big story, came out. Not reading it. If you want to, you should check it out. Man Without Fear #1, Daredevil comic was released. Marvel Tales Fantastic Four #1, basically retelling of all the best Fantastic Four stories was released. Winter Soldier #2, Star Wars Han Solo Imperial Codet #3, Killmonger #3, Shatterstar #4. I read the first one, I liked it, haven't picked it back up yet. Marvel Knights #5, Mr. and Mrs. X #7, the big marriage of the two classic Marvel superheroes was not Jubilee. What's her name? It was between I don't remember either of the names. The girl that absorbs powers and the guy that throws cards and the cards explode. Those two characters. So if you want to read their story, check it out. Tony Stark, Iron Man number 7 was released. Uncanny X-Men number 8, Deadpool number 8, Immortal Hulk number 11, and Runaways number 17 are all the comics released by Marvel this week. I read a few of them, and I'm going to talk about a few of them. So first off, let's talk about Wolverine, The Long Night, adaptation number 1. It's The Long Night adaptation because the original content of Wolverine, The Long Night was a podcast. Something like this podcast. Not really. The podcast was of the same name and released for the past year online, where you can get all your podcasts. I believe it is finished, so you can listen to all the podcasts for free in wherever you listen to your podcast. So now they're releasing it in a comic book adaptation. I very much am enjoying the first issue of the comic, so I'm going to go back and listen to the other podcasts. I would suggest you do the same. So the synopsis for the comic is as follows. Following a string of mysterious deaths in Burns, Alaska, Special Agents Sally Pierce and Tad Marshall arrive to investigate. They soon find there's more going on than meets the eye. Marvel's hit script podcast, Wolverine, The Dark Knight. Oh, it's Wolverine, The Dark Knight, not Wolverine, The Long Night, have the same name. Cool. The Marvel's hit scripted podcast, Wolverine, The Dark Knight, comes to life on the page. Chilling twists and turns brought to you by the original author of the podcast, Benjamin Percy, and the art talent of Markio Takara. Check out Wolverine, The Long Night adaptation. So, as of right now, the first issue is pretty cool. You go in to Burns, Australia, Alaska, and he told a story of a fishing vessel that's crew were just mutilated and cut to pieces by someone or something with 3 claws. Sounds like Wolverine, correct? Then we turn back to the town, find out what's been happening in town, find out where this man named Logan has been staying for the past month. Check out Wolverine, The Long Night. It's pretty good so far. I would highly recommend it. Next, Champions number 1. And with this, it's the reboot / just the next telling of Champions' story. The Champions first aired back in 2016, 2017, with all the new heroes who were replacing the old heroes. They needed their own Avengers, but of course there's so many Avengers, they decided to name them the Champions. So the first heroes that decided to join the Champions was Miss Marvel. Then we have Miles Morales Spider-Man, the best Spider-Man, and then we also had Nova leading out the team. They left the Avengers, started their own team called the Champions. Then we also got the addition of Vision on the team, the cybernetic robot, the daughter of Vision, and Amadeus Cho, the Hulk, which is now not the Hulk anymore, even though he's still green, or whatever. So, let's start going to the synopsis of Champions number 1. The world still needs heroes, and there are heroes all over the world. The Champions have gone global. The team has been explosive. The team has seen explosive growth under Miss Marvel's leadership, with super-powered members ready to answer the call in a dozen different countries. They're saving people and improving lives across the planet, while they inspire the next generation. But something sinister lurks beneath the surface of their expanded mission. It's a dark secret that could destroy the team and everything they stand for. Jim Zub, Avengers No Surrender, Uncanny Avengers, and Stephen Cummings' Wayward Legends of the Dark Knight ignite a new era of champions, filled to the brim of action, adventure, and drama in a mighty Marvel manner. Now, I'll say this. This is probably the best version of the Champions I've seen. So they take the teen aspect, the Teen Titans aspect of a group of teen leadership and teen discovery of the superpowers, and then they add in the Avenger drama, and also I'll just say this: the Devil makes an appearance at the end of the chapter and talks to Spider-Man. Yes, you are correct. Mephisto makes an appearance at the end of the chapter, so if you think that's going to be interesting, you should definitely check it out. Next, I did read Tony Stark Iron Man number 7. It's continuing the storyline of someone hacking Tony Stark's latest invention of the Escape virtual reality universe he created. Story was okay, not enough for me to talk about really, but that does lead me to Deadpool number 8. Deadpool finds himself in the middle of a twisted rivalry between two competing amusement parks, but it is not all fun and games when one pernicious, whatever, procures a plethora of dang it. Yeah, they were trying to do the P thing. Dang it, I can't think of a synonym for big honking weapons, that starts with a P. It's a carnival of carnage. Buy the ticket, take the ride. So this chapter started off with Deadpool taking, a job from a seal, that runs an amusement park, who runs half an amusement park, and his friend, a pig, ran half the other amusement park, but the pig died or quit and left his half to his cousin, but his cousin runs a drug and weapon sellings operation outside of his half of the amusement park. So the seal wants Deadpool to kill the pig. It sounds ridiculous, just like Deadpool should be, but then it gets a little more serious and a little more heartwarming once you notice that Deadpool's daughter is in this issue, which if you had been reading the previous Deadpool issue up to Deadpool issue 300 in 2018, you would know that Deadpool wiped his memory so that he wouldn't have to remember all the terrible things he has done and all the terrible things he did, didn't do to, but all the terrible things he did to S.H.I.E.L.D. and other people, and the misfortune he brought on the family of his biological daughter. So the fact that his daughter is in this chapter was really shocking and surprising. That's why I enjoyed it, and that's why you should go read it. Immortal Hulk number 11, Hulk in Hell, Jackie McGee is in Hell, Carl Cree is in Hell, Walter Lingowski is in Hell, Eugene Judd is in Hell, Carl Burbank is in Hell, Los Diablos is in Hell, Shadow Base is in Hell, New Mexico is in Hell, Planet Earth is in Hell, we are all in Hell, and so is Immortal Hulk. That was a terrible synopsis, told you nothing about the chapter. The storyline of Immortal Hulk has been amazing so far. The first volume I loved, and now this volume of Hulk trying to find out why Bruce Banner's father is alive as a spirit, and trying to open the green door to hell, continues with the Hulk in Hell. I'll just say, if you enjoyed the Immortal Hulk storyline, continue with this story. And that's it for Marvel stories for this week. I'd really say go look at the previous stories, but whatever. Now on to DC Comics. DC Comics released some comics this Wednesday, January 2nd of 2019. Starting off with Action Comics number 1006, Batgirl number 30, Batman Beyond number 27, Heroes in Crisis number 4, Justice League Odyssey number 4, Old Lady Harley number 3, Raven, Daughter of Darkness number 11, The Flash number 61, The Silencer number 12, The Terrifics number 11, Titans number 32, Wonder Woman number 61. Now, of these comics, I'm going to be talking about Detective Comics number 995 and Heroes in Crisis number 4. I also read Old Lady Harley number 3. I did enjoy it, but the storyline isn't anything too crazy. You should probably just wait until it finishes. There's only 2 more issues to be released. Buy the full issue, read it through once, and be like, that was a cool story with some cool art and cool ideas for the future of the DC universe. So now back to Detective Comics number 995. I'm going to start with the synopsis. Alfred Pennyworth attacked at the Wayne Mansion. Who's hunting those close to Batman? The monstrous shadow creature plaguing Gotham City gains the upper hand when 2 of the Dark Knight's most ardent allies fall prey to the violent vendetta. Will those tragedies send Batman over the edge? Good things think he's on his way to Arkham Asylum, but will he investigate a murderer or get incarcerated in a padded cell? So yes, this was an interesting chapter. In this chapter, if you read the previous previous issue of Detective Comics, issue number 994, you know that someone very close to Bruce Wayne / Batman has been infected with Joker toxin. This person, being Dr. Leslie Tompkins, was Bruce Wayne's basically surrogate mother, and who helped him through hard times, as well as Alfred helping him through hard times as Bruce Wayne grew up without his parents. In this chapter, I won't spoil all the stories to the story about that, but as well as the Doctor being injured and Jokerized, Alfred Pennyworth then is strucken by a person in a Zorro, the fencing master. Alfred Pennyworth is struck in the lung by a stranger at the door, but apparently the stranger had the voice recognition of Commissioner Gordon, so why this happened, we do not know yet. We just do know that Bruce Wayne's closest allies have been strucken, and that Batman has gone into Arkham to try to figure out why. Now, that was basically the biggest interesting part. The Jokerized Doctor, Alfred being stabbed, and the fact that Batman is going to Arkham with some of his greatest rogues and seems about to break some necks. So check out Detective Comics number 996, which should be fun. Now that I think about it, the fact that chapter 1000 is supposed to be the debut chapter of the DC Comics official Arkham Knight character from the games, I wonder who could be doing this. Maybe it's Arkham Knight. But then again, who is Arkham Knight? Because it's not supposed to be Jason Todd. It actually is a new character. So anyway, it does that. Detective Comics number 995 was written by Peter J. Tomasi, penciled by Doug Monkey, inks by Jamie Mendoza, and colored by David Barron. And now, I'm going to talk about the disputed DC Comic Heroes in Crisis number 4, which so far I have been enjoying. Here's the synopsis. Wonder Woman versus Booster Gold? Diana finds out the hard way that Booster can be a formidable opponent when his back's against the wall, of course, being the prime suspect in a superhero massacre and exposing a secret trauma hospital for metahumans will do just that. Meanwhile, Batman and the Flash combine their detective skills to investigate what went awry at Sanctuary and uncover a serious glitch in the system, not to mention an explosive spoiler-lific secret. This chapter was written by Tom King, penciled by Clayman, and colored by Tamara Moret. This chapter of Heroes in Crisis was pretty good. The synopsis does say Wonder Woman versus Booster Gold, but I can tell you that they do not actually fight in this chapter. Booster Gold only escapes. And then it says Batman and the Flash do some investigating. It's really just them standing in a field talking. Not Booster Gold. Batman thinks it was Harley Quinn that killed the heroes in Sanctuary, but the Flash thinks it was Booster Gold. And then a secret is that I'm going to leave that for you to read. It's pretty interesting, but it does involve Superman and his wife, Lois Lane. So those were the releases of the week. And that is us almost done with the podcast. But finally, I'm going to go over the good this week in the hopes for next week. So this week, I'd like to say I watched Doctor Who, New Year's Day special episode, and I can say it was filmed better than most of the season that came out in 2018, maybe except for the first episode, which was also pretty good. so nothing truly amazing for Doctor Who Resolution. Marvel had some pretty good releases this week. I was happily surprised. Wolverine, The Champions, and Deadpool all had some great stories that kept me going to the end of the book and made me want to read more issues in the future. DC gave me some feelings as the story continued with Detective Comics number 995, the death of Bruce Wayne's surrogate mother. I can't wait to see the craziness Batman gets into during the next issue. Heroes in Crisis also continued with its interesting storytelling of how almost all the heroes are broken and want to be fixed and just can't find out how. One Piece continued to be great. My Hero Academia was short but still amazing, and the new series of Chainsaw Man keeps me wanting more. All this week had some interesting news and great releases in Marvel, DC, and manga. Also, I would like to say I watched a great show called Pine Gap on Netflix. It was amazing. You should definitely go check it out and get back to me. Next week on the Blame Game podcast, you should definitely check out Adventures of the Super Sons number 6, Batman number 62, Justice League number 15, Return of the Wolverine number 4, and whatever else is released next week. It shouldn't be too much, but whatever happens, you definitely should come back to the Blame Game podcast to hear about it. And that is the show. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, please give it another listen or share it with your friends. Also check out the show's Instagram, blame.game.pod, where I share up-to-date news and comics, movies, manga, whatever else. Thanks for listening. It was a pleasure. This was a long version of the podcast because of all the random news and all the movie news and all the New Year information. It's the beginning of the month, so there's a good number of comics as well. But next week should be much shorter. Thanks for listening, and thank you.